Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the 9th round of the Dive Bomb Formula ARC Championship. That is the old name, ARC Formula 1 Championship. A weird name change. Anyway, already got a Rikerism in. We haven't even started the first lap of qualifying yet. And, yeah, it is the British Grand Prix from Silverstone, as I've heard some people pronounce it. They're wrong, but that's how they pronounce it. We're just watching the first lap of the session get underway. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is the first one to get across the line to begin his flying lap. Always a curse when you do that, because that means you're probably one of the most likely drivers to come across traffic on their outlaps. But he actually has a pretty clear bit of road ahead of him as he heads towards turn 6. There are some cars over there, but with any luck, he won't catch them during or just before Maggots and Beckett's. He may not catch them at all. They're actually kind of going fast. Ooh! Has to unturn in for cops. He barely manages to keep the lap valid with that. This is one of the many tracks where truck limits are the order of the day, at least in qualifying. During race pace, it's easy enough to stay in bounds. When you're on a qualifying lap pushing the very limits of your vehicle, it can get a little difficult to stay in the white lines. So the first lap of the session will be completed with no invalidations, but it's not the greatest lap. It'll be a 29.2 from Jurg to start off the session. We will jump to conclusions and get right into the sort of one-lap track tour from this broadcast. On board with Jackson Altman in the McLaren as Kyler Boggs. That's a 29 flat, top of the board. Up to turn 1 and 2. The most hectic turn 1 and 2 on the calendar, if you ask me, because there's no braking zone at all. Up to 3. Heavy braking zone. I'd call it the real turn 1 of the track, because it's the first braking zone and the first passing zone. Through 4, late exit. 5 is a non-existent turn. Down the backstretch, I think it's called the Wellington Straight, into Abbey. I have some vague knowledge of track corner names here. Luffield or Brooklands, one of those two, for turn 8. And then up towards Cops Corner. It used to be one of my least favorite tracks and one of my least favorite corners in racing, but now it's actually fun in this game. Altman negotiates fine. Then Maggots and Beckett's, the S section. Increasing radius corners, progressive on and off the brakes. It's pretty smooth from the McLaren down the back straight, hanger straight, not the back straight. Up to Stowe. Weird. There's like 7 different ways to make that turn. None of them are wrong. And then up to the club chicane. And then be as brave as you dare on the throttle on exit to finish off the lap and run a 27.6. Other laps that are put in during that test that guide Abdurrahman Al-Hazmi on the front row with the McLaren of 28.3. 28.4 for the Aston Martin of Stotts, followed by the aforementioned Kyler Boggs, AJ Nichols 29.18. Mikey De Jong, who's just been given a bit of not respite, what's the word? He was given a light of sentence, I guess, on his suspension gained from round 1 back in Bahrain. He returns with the 29.40. A new reserve driver hits the scene in the form of, I believe this is Faison Thompson, I think is his name. He's subbing in the Alfa Romeo. Suchel subbing in the McLaren as Liam Angelo subbing in the AlphaTauri for Gabe Gazzola, who's stepping back as a reserve driver with a 38.4, that's not representative. Ethan Fonseca with a 43.6, not representative. Kobe Luca tried a lap, didn't work. Francis Ferrand is on the racetrack. I feel like I changed the way I say his last name every time I bring him up. I sometimes say Farand, Farand. I think it's Ferrand. I don't know. He's never corrected me, so he either doesn't know himself or he doesn't care. And just that Razor's Edge just pushes it a little too far through cops, and off he goes. Nicolas Pichet just began his lap. Looks like Luke Alwyn is not on the track. The other new driver for AlphaTauri, whose name I was not told. I don't know who this is. I shall have to try and quickly check through the Discord to see if he's in there somewhere. Otherwise, I may just have to go with the default AlphaTauri, AlphaToilet. Wow, AlphaTauri Reserve. Oh my word. Okay, his name's not here. He's still going by Scorenzi in the... Or Scorenzi? I don't know. He's a big question mark. He's like the player character in most sports RPGs. Nicolas Pichet is, I feel, one who we should be watching. Never mind, his lap is invalid. But his battery is full, which tells me he might try again in a split second, so we'll... Never mind, his fuel light's on. I don't think he has enough fuel to do that with. No, he does not. Ethan Fonseca is on an outlap, and I feel like it's a bit of a delayed start for the Ferraris, but I have little doubt in my mind that they'll be running at a low 27s when they finally do get valid laps done. In the meantime, who else is on the track on a lap? Looks like AJ Kinnickle 201 with no ERS? What the heck? Does this man have a front wing on his car? Looks like he's about to start a lap. Kyler Boggs. Oh sure, that's allowed. I don't understand corn cutting in this game, or track extending, or whatever the terminology. Boggs is about to finish a lap. Kinnickle just started one. Fonseca also just began a lap. And it's already invalid, never mind. Again, that Razor's Edge effect. Push it to the limit, but not an inch more, or else you're invalid. And Silverstone's always one of those tracks where you feel like you can push it that inch further, and then suddenly you cannot. Kyler Boggs with a huge improvement, a 28.32, puts him third on the board. As we have a bit of a traffic jam on the Wellington Straight, as everyone just scatters to try and escape the path of the invalid lap of Ethan Fonseca, which I find kind of funny. Mikey De Jong here is making his way through the S's. A bit of oversteer coming out of Beckett's, but manages to keep the car on the circuit. I almost said on the street. That's not... No, we are not Formula E. Too much in cops. That's still... The game doesn't yell at him for it, for some reason. You can extend, but don't extend too little. You have to extend a lot or not at all. I don't understand. Gains a whole second, puts him 6th on the board, but honestly I'd be questioning the legitimacy of that lap overall. Matthew stops on his way around, but he came across some traffic early on. I don't know what car that was. It looks like an Alpine, but... Well, it has to be Kinnickle because Luke Allen's not on the track. This game's qualifying overlays need to have at least some tiny little thing next to a player's name that shows what sector they're in. Or better yet, have the 3 sectors like you'd have in the lap data in-game, Like, oh, like green sector 1, maybe yellow sector 2, they're in the middle of sector 3, so I can see people in sector 3 on their hot lap and actually put the camera on them to see what they run as they run it, instead of just guessing. So Matthew Stotts is heading up to the finish here. I didn't see any sector splits, so I don't know if this will be an improvement or not. Yes, 28 flat. He will now go to the second row of the grid. Very close up there so far in that top 10 or so. Ethan Fonseca is coming around the last turn. He looks like he might change that. Yep, but 27.37. Ferrari has returned, and oh boy. And snap back to reality. And snap off the circuit, because... oh. He was waiting for the Red Bull, and the Red Bull was waiting for him. Now, the Red Bull has spun, and Faison Thompson probably just had his life flash before his eyes, because he saw a Red Bull spin right across his nose. Thompson is on a lap. No, he's not. Absolutely not on a lap. I don't know what I'm on about. And Piquet heads to the pit lane again. Luke Allen is finally on the circuit on a hot lap. As somewhere along the way, Scorenzi managed a 27.55, which would have put him on pole if Fonseca didn't appear. Now it's just on to Fonseca's teammate to... I keep doing that one too. It's between Farand and Farand, and now it's Fonseca and Fonseca. I did the same thing with Laguna Seca versus Laguna Seca as well. I can't make up my own mind. As there's Francis leaving the pits. Here's another one that is certainly taking his time to show his true potential, but I'm pretty sure that we'll certainly find the Merc in the 27s at the very least. Oops. Luke Allen heads out of the last turn at 29 flat. Not last. I think the main places to look right now, we have 4 drivers on outlaps. Kyler Boggs is about to begin one though, so he'll be the first to floor it. I'll put the camera on him as he starts it. And looking at the other outlaps, Jared basically just started his. Francis will start right after his teammate, pretty much. And you're under less than 3 minutes in the qualifying session, so from this point onward, you're probably looking at this being your final run. That's too much. Well, I don't think that's allowed. Does his teammate fare better? Barely, even he was really pressing it. Drives by the debris of his teammate. Luckily, we were not on sim damage, so any Mercedes debris cannot collect in other people's tires. for Stowe. Almost like he's gonna snap on exit there the way he jolted the steering wheel, but what do I know? Through the last turn, 27.9. And that'll just have to do for him. 5th on the grid so far, but so many others are on their way around looking to improve their laps, or, you know, run laps period in the case of Piché and Luca. Piché is finally going to pull a lap, and it's a 26.7. Ugh, it's not even a point. This just commentate over the race for second place, I guess. Took him in 2002. I'm just... Matthew Stotts is, for now, dethroned Ethan Fonseca. At 27.36, that's the closest we've gotten to Piché, who's, you know, 0.6 faster than everyone else. Fonseca is up, but not by a whole lot. It's certainly not up by enough to challenge his teammate. He might just be up by enough to get ahead of Stotts, but that's about the most he's going to do. Up by 0.2 there, so if he doesn't botch, he will get ahead of the Aston Martin and join his teammate on the front row, but I don't think he's going to get more than that. Through the final turns, this lap will be a 27 flat, still almost 0.3 off his teammate, but on the front row and with security for that. The AlphaTauri reserve improves but doesn't jump anybody. Jackson Altman is in some grass. You're not on a lap, you're not on a lap, you finish your lap. Mikey De Jong reaches 10th on the grid at 28.1. You're done. Alright, well, that is the end of the session, basically. Once the game triggers that Jurgensmeyer and Knickel have entered the pit lane, the session should draw to a close. Take the moment to hydrate. That's why. Oh. Jackson Altman also drove around to the pits, so the second he is received, then the session will be over. He is, his car's not looking great, I will be honest. It's missing a little bit of McLaren there. It seems kind of rare to have every driver even finish a lap. Difference between pole and last is a staggering 3 and 3.6 seconds. I've seen worse. At least everybody's within the 107% rule, if that existed. Casually gets jump scared by the F1 theme. So in an attempt to speed run the qualifying results, the front row lockout for Ferrari, again. Once again, Nicolas Piché taking pole over Ethan Fonseca. A huge second row start for Matthew Stotts. Scarenzi, still not put on his actual name. Jackson Altman, Liam Angelo Carrig, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Francis Ferrand, Al Hazmi, Mikey De Jong, AJ Knickel, Kyler Boggs, Tyler Crabtree, Luke Allen, Faison Thompson, Colby Luca, and Setchel in the McLaren, rounding off the grid. Surprised they got through all that, to be honest. I don't think I'd usually struggle to get through a 10-car qualifying in 30 seconds. But I'm speedrunning. Only problem with my hydration strategy, it's carbonated beverage. 'Cause it's the only thing in the house. So I have to try and commentate around, well, the carbonation, basically. I have to not accidentally belch into the mic. Something I used to struggle with a lot, as I've been told. That and coughing, which I still have not remedied, and I don't think I ever will remedy that problem. Nice audio. Alright, so this time we are... Apparently the audio bug has been fixed, allegedly, so we are back on immersive formation laps. So I could have just run through the grid order here, and may as well, again. Because I know a bunch of people joined during the loading screen there. Nicolas Piche, yep. Great start. Nicolas Piche doing a little dance with his car. Starts on pole. He ran a 26.7. His teammate Ethan Fonseca joins him on the front row. Matthew Stotts, third. We received a comment just now mentioning P3 for my boy. Now let's watch him crash, sadly. Well... He put the curse on himself. He put spin in his username. Scorenzi in an AlphaTauri, reserving. I don't know his real name. I've not been told it yet. Starts fourth. Jackson Altman, fifth. Liam Angelo Craig. I think it's Craig. Starts sixth. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in seventh. Francis Farand with a... For him, a mediocre qualifying session. The same applies to Al-Hazmi and the Williams. Both of these guys are usually fixtures in the top 6 in terms of qualifying pace. Someone is hopelessly lost. That was AJ Kaneko, who went trying to find the 2006 layout. Kyler Boggs, Tyler Crabtree, Luke Allen, Faison Thompson making his debut, Kobe Luca, and Satchel. So, I think that's 2 debuting drivers. This guy and Scorenzi are debuting. And I think like 3 other reserves are in the race. Oh yeah, now that it's immersive, we also have to park the cars, and a lot of people are not yet used to that. Kobe Luke got it though. I never hear those red lights, and they're off. The Silverstone British Grand Prix is green. Ethan Fonseca with an absolute hole shot just screeches ahead of his teammate as we head into one. Mikey De Jong is already out of the Grand Prix. And there goes any sort of turn 1 shenanigans because he didn't even get that far. And I don't know if this is a VSC or a safety car. It looks like it's a VSC. Matthew Stotts, is it a VSC? Yeah, that's a McLaren dot, so it's just a virtual. Mikey De Jong DNFs based on where Matthew Stotts was there. Now, he couldn't have collected him. I'm not sure what happened to the Aston Martin driver. I'm not sure what happened to any driver. The camera was too far ahead to see whatever became of the Williams or of the Aston. The VSC has subsided right as our drivers approach Copse Corner. And Nicolas Piche is already setting after his teammate. He wants that back. No other huge gains, courtesy of the said VSC. Francis Ferrand has a huge run on the Williams driver of Al-Hazmi. He's just gonna go ahead and grab that. Kobe Luca is struggling, but he will get the car rolling again at least. Oh my word. Also, yes, to the person in the chat, you were indeed correct. Twice, in fact. Kobe Luca is around again. I don't even know what to call that crash. I just saw... I think it's just a failure to communicate, because obviously Stott's gonna have no way that the McLaren was trying to pit just there. But also, like... I don't know, it just kind of looked like that's on the McLaren. They could have just slowed down to pit. They already have to pit. They're gonna be losing time from fixing their car, I feel like. Colby retires in the pit lane. Don't worry, we'll see his car rejoin the circuit in about 5 minutes. Oh, that's you. Your username now is very different from your username when you were in ARC. Well, I mean, let's take that on with the AJ. Anywho, back to the GP at hand. DRS is not enabled yet, but the second it does, I think there's going to be some products of pop fizzing here. Crabtree down the inside of Boggs is left no real estate, and around goes the other Aston Martin. Couldn't get it to swing back the other way, so he almost finds a wall. Manages to get the car stopped, though, crucially. Rear end damage, said Colby. Yeah, that'll do it. Thompson around, and a nonsense 10-second penalty for his misery. Crabtree swoops around the outside, but meets Kyler Boggs. That was frankly terrifying. Piche saw a gap and he wanted to sneak his way in there, but that's not the right time to do that because we're on the exit of a corner. Noticeable strategies here. Really, I mean, Sucha was on softs, but then he crashed and had to fix his car, so he's no longer on softs. Or they. The McLaren is no longer on softs. Neither, well, they were the only person that started on them. And holy downforce, or lack thereof. Piche wants the outside of Stowe. Teammates too wide heading towards Club. And the inside lane will prevail. Fonseca, much less a comeback, and nearly goes to the pit lane with that. And that puts the AlphaTauri in with a chance to make an overtake for P2 heading down Wellington. If you can hook up turns 3, 4, and 5. Fonseca just got a really good exit there, so I do not think... Yeah, no, he's not pushing better. He knows he does not have a chance at the moment. It's like World War II in the back. Well, I mean, Silverstone Circuit was converted out of a World War II runway, so you know we're just in the spirit of the circuit, you know. I am so talking out of my rear end. Let's see. This is really the closest battle on the track right now. Liam Angelo trying to find a way around Jurgensmeyer, but he's not making a whole lot of time up. Probably due to the fact that he's on hard tires and Jurgensmeyer isn't. A big walk-up from the AlphaTauri. I remember that from his 2021 glory days. I don't remember that, though. That was terrifying. He nearly loops it out of Club. And that puts Francis in with the chance to pass him. Again, if he can hook up turns 3, 4, and 5. Luke Allen gets a time penalty. The first, like, the first legitimate time penalty of the race, I would say. Angelo gets 4 and 5 right, just enough to keep Francis away. Helped with DRS from the Haas. Jurgensmeyer is losing the McLaren, so he will be losing his own DRS benefits in due time. Meanwhile, battle to be not last is about to brew between two drivers that we've already seen come together once today. And this is the closest battle on the track, so I may as well put the camera here as I'm looking on the map and I'm seeing not much else. And here I am seeing something. Satchel hangs low, Stotts just kind of doesn't do anything, he just kind of waits. Only lap 6. They're both on hards, probably to the end. Oh, or Satchel can loop it out of Brooklyn's. And there is the safety car. Somewhere. Yeah, it's on the track, it's next to... I think AJ just passed it. Someone just passed it. I feel like this was so early in the race. I don't know if it's necessarily worth pitting right now. Would hard tires go 20 laps? Probably. Obviously that isn't an option for those already on the hard tires, so they won't pit here, I don't think. They'd be kind of foolish to. Anyone that does is banking on another safety car just to keep them in the race later on. Because mediums certainly aren't doing 20 laps. And I'm not even sure if the medium runners will want to pit. Well, they do. As Pichet hits the pit lane, and I suppose that means everybody else in mediums will follow him in. Indeed, Altman does not pit, making him the new leader once he heads around. Luke Allen and Tyler Crabtree do have a choice to make. Being this far back, track position could mean something short term. Or do they just want to take the guaranteed route and pit? Allen, yeah, no one's taking risks here. So with that, the top few cars are now a completely different set of vehicles. It is now Jackson Altman, Liam Angelo, Craig. I swear I change it every time I say it. AJ Knickel and Al Hazmi that are the new top 4. And net first is back into 5th. As Thompson gets a speeding penalty under safety car. And I suddenly get kind of drowsy. Tonight on Top Gear. Thompson on the soft tires. It's an interesting call. That threw me off. Also, Francis on mediums. Also an interesting call. I guess Francis believes there will be another safety car in the Grand Prix, which, again, it's not unbased. There probably will be, if I must be honest. But in the event that there isn't, he's effectively taken himself out of contention. Thompson boxing again. Now he'll be forced to serve that 5 seconds, although that might be what he wanted to do in the first place. And he'll put back on the hards he pitted onto before. I do not know if the game will go green this time, because he's back there, but everyone else is with the field, except for Kyler, who's backing himself up, but he would very easily get here in the next, minute and a half. Thompson, I don't think he will do so. I think he's not going to make it in time. I think it's a pretty safe bet. I think even if the safety car put on the pit limiter, it might be close. I gotta go another time. So we'll just set a safety car in this lap by now for sure, and it didn't. Just Thompson is just getting to Maggots and Beckett's now, while the safety car is at the line. No comment. Sorry you had to see that. At this rate, I don't think he's gonna catch on this lap either. Jackson has some sort of equipment problems or something. I hope he knows he ain't getting those spots back, I don't think. Safety car is in this lap, Alfa Romeo or not. So Liam Angelo Craig will lead us to the green, and AJ Kinnickle is super close to smacking the guy's diffuser. Thompson is going to arrive at the last minute. No comment. Looks like maybe green. Yeah, that's why you don't floor it at club, you floor it out of club. That was an ugly restart from Liam. That just Yeah, that just caused the inevitable. Scarenzi is around out of the last turn, courtesy of that gargantuan checkup from Liam. I think the stewards might have a look at that one. I, as a steward, want to look at that one, but I don't know if I will be able to. Because that was just, ugly! And Nicolas Pichet uses the chaos to put himself into P3 already. He's not clear about Hazmi, and he's stuck behind the Alpine. Hazmi now actually looking for second on the Alpine. Again, amidst the chaos. Oh, we're going too wide into cops. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, the two ahead kept it clean. Pichet takes full advantage. He sneaks ahead of the Williams. Fonseca probably wishes he had a bag of popcorn right about now. And probably also wishes he had less dirty air, because he about went off the track there. Jackson Altman notices that. And Pichet is going to outdrag the Alpine, maybe, yes. Well, this restart's been a little bit swifty, as they say. Liam Angelo leads the 11th lap of the GP, but I think his days are numbered, because the Ferrari in the mirror is very fast. The Ferrari in the mirror is a French-Canadian Michael Schumacher. He's like a cross between Jacques Villeneuve, I don't know. It's like a cross between that guy and Michael Schumacher at the same time. Or even like Joe Villeneuve, I don't know which one was better. I think the older one was. I mean, dude had a track named after him. Andrew Knickel gets a penalty. Only the third one basically of the race. Not counting Thompson's. Because he didn't really deserve the penalty he did get. When Pichet has caught the leader, his teammate is still hanging out in 5th, stuck behind these two as they jostle for places. Kai got a good run out of the last bit of Beckett's. And we have it's Fonseca, oh boy. Ferrari disaster class for Fonseca. Good thing his teammate's picking up the slack. Seemed like that must have been an unforced error from Fonseca. I don't remember anyone being particularly close to him as he went into the S's. Let's see if Liam Curry can tap into his 2021 self here and defend the lead from Pichet with fresher tires and DRS. I'm gonna go ahead and guess no, but I've been wrong before, many times. He does stay ahead though, and Altman outdrags the Williams driver with ease. Not much happening up and down the field at the moment, other than, well, these two being close together, because they have been since the restart, no duh. Altman dummies ascend into cops, trying to get in AJ's head, I think, but I think it's going to take a little bit more than that. There's the DRS for the McLaren. He's going to get to nearly 210 as he draws alongside the Alpine. Sweeps out wide on exit. AJ keeps his wing there. It's going to be too wide at club. And a bit of a wash up from AJ. Altman's still at the inside. Now he's forcing AJ off a tiny bit. More than a tiny bit there, but he quickly returns to the middle of the track to give the space and lets the Alpine go in sportsmanship, because that would have been asinine. And besides that, we have more DRS straights anyway. We have two of them as... I thought for a second the Ferrari was hit, but he just understeered. He got some sort of weird understeer, oversteer. He had to correct a snap that wasn't happening. Altman trying to put himself in the grass to find a lane on AJ. I've been there once. But that was the time when AJ wasn't defending me down there. I put myself there like a fool. And following that, Francis will capitalize. He gets alongside the McLaren. And he will probably outdrag him before Copse. Indeed, Altman just backs out. Prepares to exit Copse. Gets alongside the Mercedes again. We have Chaos further back, too. Altman backs out, losing yet another place to bad timing. And then Francis screams ahead of AJ with no problems. Altman getting up close and personal with that rear wing on that car. Weird flux, but okay, Pichet. My God, AJ was so out of place, out of shape there. Francis is already making good his escape plan here. Liam, by some miracle, will pick up DRS there, but that'll probably be the last time he will. As Pichet is checking out of Hotel California. You can check out whenever you want, but you can never leave, Nicholas. Hazmi just about went straight through the McLaren there. That was a little bit awkward to look at. Here, looking at the DRS train to end all DRS trains. Francis is fortunate to escape it if he can on his medium tires. Maybe that's the reason he went on them in the first place. Could work his way through and away from the DRS train, which AJ is the head of. He doesn't have DRS, he's a sitting duck. But even still, he's running low wings, so he's not a slouch in a straight line even without it. Nothing doing on this lap. Certainly no doubt that the Alpine drivers are the biggest movers of the moment. They're up 6 and 7 positions from where they started, respectively. That's in the pit lane, never mind. AJ is starting to run out of grip in that car. But he is not running out of battery. Another lap of putting things off. Something's got to give eventually here. AJ wide out of Beckett's. Altman, I figured it would be a smell blood instance, but he isn't even on his battery. AJ is just struggling over here. Altman too wide with the Alpine again, but cannot convert. This time he at least has a buffer between him and the next car. He won't lose a place for that attempt. Assertive late braking, but even that can't get the job done. How about a desperate crossover at the apex? No! How about more DRS down Wellington? I guess we'll see. Also, no! Altman is just probably losing it in that cockpit because he can't get ahead of this Alpine. Suddenly, huge going wide moment. He finds the gap, puts his McLaren there, but he still can't get it! The Alpine is making all the wrong moves, but just can't. Oh, small nudge through cops. But even that's not enough to put the Alpine all the way offline. Matthew Stotts is out of the GP. He has spun through the S's, either collecting or caused by Kyler Boggs, and that is that other safety car that I'm sure Francis was dying to see. Liam Mengel also in a perfect spot, but our boy Piche has been caught off guard by this. He just passed the pit lane when the safety car was called. And so everybody else gets a free stop for, but I can only assume to be medium tires. Or softs. This is gonna be weird. This is gonna turn to tire management now. Luke Allen gets caught for speeding. Naughty, naughty. We're gonna have a bit of a mixture of the two, I think. Everyone that's confident in their tire management, and then everyone who's not. Kyler Boggs elects to not go in at all. He really wants that track position, which tells me that he did not cause the spin in Maggots and Beckett's because he would have fixed his car. I'm sure he'd have gotten damage from it if he was. Starting to look like a McDonald's ad here with all the red and yellow, and then there's just Nicolas Piche, who I can only assume is gonna box again. I don't see why he would stay out on those tires, although honestly he's got enough pace. He probably could win from here anyway. This changes a lot of things. And, yep, Darius McGill was absolutely correct. He is out again. Matthew Stotts is the definition of an oil candle. Burns brightly, burns out fast. All these different drivers on different tire compounds. This is going to be a show for these last 7-8 laps of the British Grand Prix and the Dive Bomb AF1 Championship. Just to clarify, is Dive Bomb a title sponsor? I should ask AJ about that. I keep saying that like it is. I'm sure he wouldn't be complaining either way, but if it isn't, then I don't need to be saying it in this context. Allen pits in again to get rid of his 5-second penalty. Luckily, he will have another set of soft tires to put on after that. But he's still going to have to haul to get back up to the safety car queue before it restarts without him, I feel. I don't know, maybe just me. Is the red safety car just weird to me? My brain just thinks safety car and thinks, it's silver or white. And then we have a white one and a green one. And don't even get me started on the Formula E safety car. Oh my god. Thing's like a water cooler plastic cup in the car form. Luke must catch 30 seconds in half the track distance. Piche elected to not pit. He does have Boggs as a buffer, but after that buffer is gone, he's gonna have a lot of people with better tires behind him. It may not matter, this guy ran a 26-7 in practice qualifying, so he might have more pace than everybody else regardless, and I'm just talking for nothing, but either way, it's gonna be a big toss-up. Call it Wheel of Fortune. We're not going in this lap, so the safety car is in fact waiting for Luke. Hopefully he won't spin the second he catches the cue. Hydrates. What? It's not waiting for you again, Luke. I hope you know that. What's this all about now? Oh, he has another... Huh? Right. Did he miss? Did I... No, that's impossible. This time he has to catch 20 seconds in a lap. I think he will actually get back this time. Maybe he was just trying to make sure he had the freshest tires in the field or something. So that is cause, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of. So Luke is here, basically. So there's absolutely no reason the safety car doesn't go in this lap. Maybe this time Nicholas can put together an actual safety car restart and not a conga line. To look at the human centipede of Formula 1 cars, swerving like maniacs, and then there's just Kyler Boggs, who doesn't know what tire temperature is. I suppose in his case, the more he swerves his tires, or the more he tries to warm his tires, the more he wears his tires, so... He's probably on razor's edge when it comes to that, at the moment. He's getting a little overzealous with the swerving. It was a weird transition, but we are green once again from Silverstone, and Kyler Boggs is around. You should have warmed up your tires more. And with that needed buffer on Pichet's end eliminated, that opens the door for just about anybody as Ethan Fonseca just barges his way ahead of Aston Martin. In Aston Martin. He's got a name, me. It's Crabtree. The Tree of Crabs. Pichet has the pace advantage. Fonseca has a penalty, but Liam has far better tires. It's a softer compound and it's 10 laps newer. Liam might be on for a bit of an upset win, considering he claims he's deteriorated in the skill since the 2021 days, where he was fighting for a championship. Meanwhile, further back, Fonseca is pushing like an animal to get through the field, but he's dealing with some traffic as the AlphaTauri sends it on the Aston Martin of Crabtree, but doesn't yield anything. Fonseca about runs Altman over at that braking zone. Down the inside of 4, that's not the best passing zone ever. Not when turns 6 and 7 exist. Almost gets into Altman again. Also a slight snap oversteer through the right-hander. And Altman has lost it through Stowe. Again, unsure. Maybe that was not unforced, but I wasn't looking, so... Liam Craig with the fastest lap for the GP there on his fresh medium tires. Faster than all the soft tires even at the moment. And the misery just compounds itself for the McLaren. DRS is enabled, and that's the last thing Piquet wants to hear right about now. Oh my word. I thought that was game over for Liam right there. He manages to keep it straight, but at what cost? Oh, the cost of about 5/6 of a second. That's what cost. Just as quickly as he got into it, Liam Angelo is out of DRS range from the leader, but Francis isn't out of his DRS range, so that's going to be interesting as Fonseca just screams ahead of the Haas. Now the Haas is under threat from the AlphaTauri, who's just kind of following Ethan through the field with relative success. Never mind, commentator's curse. That sausage curb said, take your success and throw it out the window. Oh, the Williams is a huge run on the Alpine. I don't think AJ's even trying to defend that. There's not much point. Never mind, he entirely is. Oh! I think he slid up into Malhazmi there. That's going to cost. That's just going to cost. I can't be sure if that's exactly what happened, but that's kind of what I saw from this perspective. Altman retires on the exit of Cops, and the game is going to give us another safety car for that. There aren't even enough laps for that, what? We're not going to have an opportunity for a pit stop, other than right now. And half the field couldn't even get in time. The safety car only was out for one lap. The lead three never even got an opportunity to try and pit. I think Drigg stayed on his own volition. But half the field isn't even going to get here in time. AJ and Fonseca might, But everybody else is cutting it close, and the bottom two definitely won't. And we are green for the last time here at Silverstone, because there's literally no more room for a safety car. If I'm Liam, I'm thinking this is a second chance. If I don't lose control this time, speaking of control, AJ wants fourth on Jurgensmeyer. Wheel-to-wheel racing through the first sector, and AJ with huge exit momentum snags the place. Fonseca wants to follow him through, and probably will. AJ is fresh out of battery as we head through Stowe for the penultimate time. Fonseca notices he has no battery and will get ahead of the Alpine through Stowe. AJ with no chance to take it back. A bit of a consolation award going to the AlphaTauri driver who now takes the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 29.46. Unless Piquet somehow beats it on 19 lap old hards, it wouldn't even surprise me. Crabtree got Jurgensmeyer through the left-hander and struggles, but stays ahead on the exit of the right. Jurgensmeyer cannot attempt to take it back into Copse, but Crabtree will go horribly wide and not get penalized for it. Fonseca is right on the ass of Francis, literally, oh, excuse my language, and quite literally there, and runs into him, losing him a chance of passing him and losing him a place on AJ. What in the name of Ferrari was that? You know, a pass he won't even complete. But Nicolas Piquet is going to make it, I think this is 3 in a row? I do believe. Either way, he wins the British Grand Prix. And the penalties shuffle everybody around, so we'll just wait to see who actually ends up where. And it is, obviously Piquet wins over Liam Carrig and Francis Ferrand, who didn't have penalties. Hesme in the Williams gets 4th off of said penalties, when he was 6th. Gets ahead of Kinnickle and Fonseca, who did. Crabtree 7th, Jurgensmeyer 8th, the AlphaTauri 9th, Luke Allen. I seem to remember being higher. I think he was 9th and he spun in the last corner. He still takes a point away from the Grand Prix, and Kyler Boggs, somewhere in like Donington Park or something, is finally making his way up to the last turns. To conclude matters here at the British Grand Prix. Now, Hesme in the Williams gets the driver of the day. The Banana Man... The Banana Men do it again. The Forbidden Minions. Hilariously, his engineer doesn't change uniform colors, so he's still red. And I'm pretty sure that that's not how it works in real life. That's how lazy Codemasters is. Only 4 drivers finished with no penalties in this GP. And thusly shall end tonight's broadcast session. Next week, still don't know what track it is. I probably feel like I've said Monza every time. I'm just not even gonna offer you a guess. I think Piche almost did beat the fastest lap too. He ran that 29.5. I don't know when that was done. Could have very well been the last lap for all I know. But until the next week, goodbye.